Marla Gearhart and Kylie Galloway. Dustin, this is like a COVID Monday. There are many games throughout NCAA makeup days, and this is one of them.
It's got to be strange, CB, for these. I mean, they just played on Saturday, both of them, both on the road. So it's just tough to turn around and come back and do a day game right there on Monday. It's got to be difficult.
It doesn't, as you know, athletes are creatures of habit, and that's the toughest part, is to tell your body, both mentally and physically, oh, wait a minute, we got a game on Monday? No less a day game. Nice drive and finish by Kylie Snaringer. Strong drive and move.
All about getting up the court quickly and finding the open lane, and they did it well there.
Jazzion Jackson. A good move, and it results in a foul on Zakiya Weathersby. So Jalen Mallard was in the act of shooting.
Nice job by Mallard there, realizing Weathersby a little bit slower on her feet. Took advantage of the opportunity to draw the foul and get to the free throw line.
Mallard 61% at the line this year. 6'2" junior out of Little Rock. Offensive board for the Mean Green. That's a travel, so they give the ball right back. It was Ali Gamez on a turnover.
Took the step just a little too early, but it was nice to see North Texas with the offensive rebound, especially knowing that Weathersby's going to be in there causing all kinds of trouble today. So that was a good rebound for them, a good start on the end of the court here.
When you're on the road, can't turn it over. You got to shoot well. That's an offensive foul. All the little things. In fact, Zakiya Weathersby, speaking of little things, 1 minute in, has just picked up her second foul. This one on the offensive end.
That was very tough. Going to be a tough pill for UAB to swallow, losing Weathersby already, and now McGee stepping on the floor. It's going to be tough to get that rhythm going, especially, as we said, playing just this weekend.
That's a long two. And then there is Weathersby's replacement, McGee. Margaret Whitley, who has become a facilitator this year instead of a scorer. Whitley, remember, is a left-hander. Roters can drive, contact. They'll get Roters on the offensive.
It's a tough start for UAB so far. Already 2 offensive fouls, and then just unable to make anything happen there. Like you said, Whitley kind of starts everything for UAB, so she tried to get the drive, just couldn't find any room. And then Roters, same kind of thing. UNT doing a really good job clogging up the middle, and without Weathersby, that's going to be easier for them.
Mallard playing the high post, which takes McGee away from the backboard, and there is an offensive rebound by Mallard, gets fouled by Roters. So early foul trouble here in this opening quarter for the Blazers.
I was just about to say, it looks like the story of this game is going to be fouls and foul trouble for UAB early. Another nice offensive rebound coming off the roll right there for Mallard, and then just bad defensive positioning right there, drawing the foul.
So Randy Norton, Dustin, is going to have to go to his bench yet again. See how deep his bench is today. That's Sarah Rosenfeld coming in because 2 of the starters have combined 4 fouls in less than 2 minutes.
It's hard to win like that, especially coming off the road. You know, everybody's a little bit tired, and now you're already having to dive into the bench before the first media timeout.
Last game for UAB, they got thumped by Middle Tennessee, their worst loss of the year. Committed 21 turnovers. We mentioned UNT coming off a road win, trying to make it 2 straight road wins. So North Texas by 1.
Certainly a unique situation. You know, UAB had a decent little streak there in the last 5. They'd won 4 prior to that, and then, of course, North Texas getting their first road win in conference.
And they beat a fellow Texan team in
San Antonio. That's exactly what UAB's got to do right there. Return the favor on the offensive end of the floor and get it down to McGee, since she's obviously the one in the game right now. huge mismatch there for her. She takes advantage, draws the foul.
Destiny McGee, 6'2", even though she played last year at Arkansas. She gets that freshman year back because of COVID. And as I've mentioned many broadcasts, she will inherit the throne from Zakiya Weathersby next year.
Those are big shoes to fill.
Weathersby is certainly going to go down as one of the great UAB women's basketball players of all time. Her numbers indicate that, as you mentioned, already 15 double-doubles this year. And she averaged a double-double last year, but right now she's on the bench because of 2 fouls. The ball fake. Shot clock at 3. And a bailout foul.
Was just about to say, UAB doing a really nice job there rotating on defense. North Texas trying to get those little open gaps to slice them up, and UAB with the bailout foul, as you mentioned, Destiny McGee a little bit away from the rim. She's a rim protector, and they got her out at the edge of the paint, draws the foul.
1 second was left on the shot clock. Jazzion Jackson, 84% free throw shooter. And she goes 1 of 2 to give the Mean Green a 2-point lead. UAB is going to have it. There's a steal, a turnover.
What a block.
And a block, no foul. Snaringer on the defense, but UAB is going to have to find some offense from different players tonight. Boy, that was a clean block.
Really clean block. Able to bail UAB out there, getting back. Snaringer just staying with the play after the lazy turnover.
You play street ball in Alex City when you were growing up?
You know, there was some of that when we could find flat ground to do it on. You know, we had a few games. I used to play a little basketball, made All-Stars a couple times. Not that I was any good at it, but I at least made it look like I did anyways.
Well, the reason I say that is Margaret Whitley misses is then when you get a block like that, you're supposed to, back in New York, we say you get that out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
McGee with the follow-up basket. So I just don't, you're a much nicer, kinder, gentler guy. I'm not sure that comes out.
Got to finish with a smack talk.
Exactly. You just can't make a block and just turn your head and go away. No.
It's a learned skill.
You know the other New York rule, if you get dunked on in the playground, you know what you have to do?
Go home.
You go home. You take, but you take off your sneakers.
Yeah. Turn them in. They go on the power line and they stay for a few years.
Absolutely. So you've been educated. Yes. I was a street ball legend, mostly in my own mind. You know,
what was your specialty? That's my question.
Passing.
Giving the ball to someone else.
No question. I would lead any league in 2 categories: assists and turnovers.
And bench minutes.
And bench minutes. Without saying, Klazak. And there's good, solid defense right there. 2 hands on the snuff by Maddie Townley.
We knew this would be an inside game, and so far it's exactly what we've seen.
McGee picks the cherry, gets the rebound. Uh-oh. Whitley ran out of space earlier than she wanted to. Goes back to Whitley.
It's just hard to make it happen without Weathersby on the floor. You just really get a sense the UAB is totally out of sorts without that offensive weapon.
You know, and I'll tell you what, their best finisher is Roders, and she also has 2 fouls. So now back to the bench again for Randy Norton. Same thing for Jaylee Mitchell. They will both go to the bench.
That's what you like to see right there, too. Weathersby kind of still being a captain, even though she's got 2 fouls on the bench. She's up coaching her teammates until she gets a chance to get back into this one.
This is one of the rare times, and I'm looking up on the floor, Dustin, neither Weathersby nor McGee are in the game right now for UAB. So this is about the smallest lineup that Randy Norton could diagram. He's got about 3 guards and maybe 2 small forwards if you want to break it down. Here's Whitley. Caitlin Daniels, an outside threat. Bounce pass. And Rosenfeld, again, there's Rosenfeld instead of McGee or Weathersby. Sarah was able to draw the foul, and I thought it was on Townley. We'll
take another look at it.
Magruder. Magruder.
Yeah, exactly. Magruder just getting the body in there, not playing the ball at all. Easy call for the referees.
I'll tell you what, it looks unorthodox, but it goes in on a swish.
I was just about to say that's the double cocked approach there for Rosenfeld. If you look at that wrist,
keeps her toes on the ground, heels are off the ground. I'm not sure that's taught, but
it works.
It works.
You know, as a team, they're shooting 75%, so something's working right.
Game tied at 6. Mean Green, chance to take the lead if they can get the ball down low. Shot in the basket. It's Mallard taking advantage.
I believe that was Lampkin. 24 Lampkin with the finish there.
It was Lampkin. Thank you. Daniels passes up a 3. I'm glad I brought you along today.
That's right. I'm just here for proofreading.
All right, we'll get our first break of the opening quarter. And we've got an 8-6.
Because you look at the two coaches, and Randy Norton and Jaylee Mitchell, they've really only been head coaches at these two schools. And it's unique because they've been a part of basically all of those matchups.
Right.
Maybe minus a few, but I think they've done it all, and that just makes it such a unique matchup.
Randy Norton is in his 9th year. Jaylee Mitchell is in her 7th. McGee got position, couldn't finish. Randy Norton went about 2 minutes without McGee and Weathersby, but he's got Destiny McGee back in. She's got 1 foul. It is rare to see both of them on the bench at the same time.
UAB, honestly, just fortunate to be 8-6 at this point, with North Texas pretty much controlling both ends of the floor defensively and offensively.
North Texas just has not shot well here. 2 for 8 after that miss, and then McGee's cleaning up whatever's left over. There is a travel violation, no bucket. Maddie Walsh. Yeah, North Texas, you would say, in the feel of this game, there's Jaylee Mitchell. 52 wins as the head coach. You would say and feel that North Texas has the advantage, but they're only 2 for 8 from the field. You're gonna need
just very poor shooting, getting rebounds, and getting to the hoop. You know, taking high percentage shots, just not finishing. Dixon doing a nice job there, though, finally getting a nice bounce and taking a good shot for 2.
Snaringer. UNT has gone into a man-to-man right now.
You can see UAB trying to confuse North Texas and get them out of position, and able to get the offensive rebound there as a result.
McGee, give her an offensive rebound and 2 points.
This is really her chance to shine right here with Weathersby and 2 fouls on the bench, and now a turnover from North Texas.
Yeah, it's kind of an audition. And as we mentioned, Zakiya Weathersby will go down as one of the great players in UAB women's basketball history, averaging a double-double both last year and this year. She's a senior. And McGee's only a freshman. There it is to McGee. And
they're
good
doubling
defense
her.
that time. Yep.
They're doubling her. They realize if UAB is going to score, it's going to go through McGee.
UAB got their hands on it. Deflection. This is Caitlin Daniels. That was a bad pass by Walsh into traffic, deflected.
Great job by McGee right
Pretty
there.
good job by Destiny.
Magruder thought she had a lane to drive. McGee actually covered 2 players right there and did it well, and did it very well. So you got to be happy if you're Randy Norton, watching that rotation, covering the corner and forcing to the baseline.
Klezak replaces Whitley. It's Townley.
Deep in the shot clock here on this possession.
At 5 for the Mean Green. Nice bounce pass. And again, North Texas not able to finish, but here they come up with an offensive rebound, much to the chagrin of Randy Norton. Another shot, another miss, another shot, and finally goes in.
11 rebounds already in this game for North Texas. Some of those coming off their own misses, obviously, but still winning the battle of the boards. UAB currently sitting at 7. So that's the story so far.
What a cut that was. Snaringer on the move, the freshman from Normal, Illinois. Magruder, 2-point shot, no good. McGee racking up the rebounds.
Well, Texas doesn't shoot well from the field, 41% on the season, so they've got to get to the glass to finish.
Now their number one threat is Quincy Noble, and right now she's got no points.
Right.
Player, the Conference USA preseason player of the year.
Showed Noble with 2, looks like.
Well, they're lying. Magruder into the UAB bench. Yeah, we'll give Noble 2. I must have given 2 to somebody else.
It was early in the game. She's 1 for 5 from the field, though. And McGee checks out for UAB. So now this is an interesting lineup. No Weathersby, no McGee on the floor right now. So, you're looking at just perimeter ball movement at this point for UAB and trying to find an open lane. This could be interesting, but they're just playing with fire with all these fouls, 5-team fouls at this point. It's an interesting lineup.
When you are the road team, North Texas, amongst the checklists, without turning the ball over, you also don't want to commit silly fouls on the road. So right now it's UAB 5 fouls, North Texas only 2. Open shot, turned down. Let's get a better shot, and then caught in between using the rim and the glass. Ball fake and a finish
all the way
by Jackson.
Home. Very nice run down the floor for Jackson right there. Just took it all the way to the cup. UAB can't get back on defense. And that's exactly what North Texas needs to do. Take advantage of that full court offense and get down before UAB has a chance to get set.
13 boards, as you mentioned, right now for North Texas.
It's just not there for UAB right now. They have no offense at this point.
Oh, that's going to go. A three-pointer at the end of the first quarter, and Randy Norton, the UAB head coach, goes to his players, and he is careful. You got Charlotte at 7-1, Middle at 8-2, Western at 8-3, ODU at 6-3. They go deep before you get a team near 500.
There's no doubt the scale definitely tips in favor of the East in Conference USA play right now. UAB obviously dropping 1 to Middle on the road, which was an Eastern Conference foe, so we get a foul here off the ball. But yeah, it's going to be a tough tournament for UAB. Obviously leading the West currently, and that'll help with seeding, but you just hope you don't have to play those Charlottes and Middles, at least in those first couple of rounds.
That is another offensive foul called on the Blazers, their 3rd so far.
Now 16 fouls. They're just hard to do anything when you've got that many early in a game.
Well, it takes away your rhythm. That's something, the pacing, the rhythm, and then you take your 2 post players out of the game completely.
Be interesting to see how Weathersby plays with 2 fouls back in the game now.
Roders will follow her own shot. No one boxed her out. The first shot was not very good looking, but at the end of the sequence, what looks good is when you get 2 that go in.
That was one of those Randy Norton aggressive mentality adjustments. Like, hey guys, let's follow up our shots. Sometimes you forget the basics.
Weathersby back on the court, by the way, and foul in the backcourt. Roders took a spill.
Vilas is going to get that one for North Texas. They gave it to Gamez, looks like. Just a little kind of bailout right there. They had her trapped, really, but just the extra reach in there. It honestly should have went to Vilas, but Gamez given the foul.
Rosenfeld on the wing. Three by Klazak. Comes up short. And then Rosenfeld tried the volleyball save. UAB wanted to travel. And a second chance for the Mean Green. That's a mid-range jumper that goes in.
15 rebounds to UAB's 11. And again, that's where these extra points are coming from. Just no inside presence with Weathersby out most of the first quarter. And that's not going to help you at all. No chance to rebound that one. Combination of bad shot selection along with just unfortunate foul situation for UAB's got them in a bit of a hole here against a team that here at home shouldn't be this difficult.
8-1 at home. Yeah, the thing about it is they're just shooting like 30% as well in North Texas. Exactly. They could be way out in front. They were shooting, let's say, 40, 45%.
A whole nother game.
Is that yet another offensive foul on UAB?
Just like Klazak with that one. And yes, it is.
Wow. That is 4.
It's hard to fathom that before even the second quarter has gotten going here that we would see this many. But you have to wonder if maybe Coach Mitchell saw a weakness in UAB's offense and said, guys, keep your feet on the ground, stay outside the restricted zone, and make them earn those points in the paint. And it looks like that's what their game plan is, and it looks like it's working so far.
Lost possessions for the Blazers. Villas, who has 2 points. That's wing 3. Rosenfeld on the box out.
Not a bad possession for North Texas. Great ball movement. Found the open man, just couldn't put it down.
Sarah Rosenfeld.
North Texas in a bit of a zone mixed with a man-to-man almost. They're certainly guarding the paint.
McGee got off a 3, didn't go. Follow up.
And UAB bailing out North Texas again. Klazak took a pretty bad shot in the first place, and then the reach-in right there, I believe, was given to...
They give it to Klazak.
Was it Klazak
yes.
Again? My goodness. So Randy Norton has to pull her again. And so now just trying to figure out how do you use what's left here is what Randy's job is at this point. McGee checks back in as well.
If North Texas gets their shooting percentage up like that, Quincy Noble points 3 and 4, they might be able to run away.
Well, and you have to realize, too, UAB is going to be playing softer on defense. By the time you get this many fouls, you can no longer press. You've got to play off the man because you've got to stop drawing fouls at some point in this game. And Randy quickly puts Klazak right back into the game. And now Whitley's going to check out and get a breather here. But still, it changes your whole psyche and how you play defense. And it's going to be interesting, as you say, if North Texas gets the shooting percentage up, this could get out of hand.
UAB's got to find somebody to get hot offensively. Klazak, about a 17-footer.
And I was just about to say that's what UAB's adjustment needs to be, is UNT is clogging up the paint. So somebody's going to have to figure out how to make a mid-range jumper in this game.
That's a corner 3, didn't go, and then McGee with the board. Snaringer all the way for the finish.
That's another thing that's been working really for either side, is if they can get down the floor quickly in transition and turn it around. That's been the most successful for both offensive. Once the defense is set, both sides are having a hard time getting off a good shot.
Off the screen, it goes in. Noble starting to heat up now for the Mean Green. She's got 6.
Shooting just looks like 3 for 8 from the field. So
3 ball, Blazers. Rebound. Now, there was a whistle, a foul on North Texas it looked like after the Daniels shot,
I believe Noble got charged with the foul. She's not agreeing with the call, but she'll pick it up nonetheless.
so it was a non-shooting foul. Blazer ball out of bounds. Scoreboard's going to flash Townley.
Yeah, it looks like they had a mistake there and then switched it over to Townley. I think that is the right call. You see an important stat on the screen there, and three-point shooting. UAB has yet to hit one from beyond the arc, which is not their game in the first place.
It's funny, Dustin, I talked with Randy Norton earlier in the year, and he said this is the best shooting team that he's had. And that's what I said, huh?
Yeah.
And he said this is the best shooting team he's had in his now 9 years. However, they haven't put the ball through the cylinder. Place like home. UAB, we mentioned at the opening, 8-1 at this facility. North Texas, their first win of the year on the road, came in their last battle. Now, the men's team here, undefeated on this court. They do have a loss at Legacy Arena. So you combine men and women, and boy, they've had a heck of a home season. Meanwhile, combine a Jalen Mallard basket.
Bartow Arena's always had some magic to it. I've been to a lot of basketball games, just like you have in this building, and you don't see either UAB team lose very often in here.
I will say this. To beat both teams, you've got to play a complete game.
Yeah.
That's rattling in and out by Snaringer, or out and in, rather.
And that right there just goes back to both teams getting that mid-range jumper together, getting that shooting percentage up. UAB with 34.8 showing on the stat sheet.
And one coming up. And one for Noble.
It's what she does right there, and that's why she's so dangerous, because if you let her inside and give her that foot inside, just watch this drive right here. Doesn't push off, gets the inside, gets the defender on her heels, and Noble gets up in the air and finishes. And Klazak with another foul for UAB will check out.
Three-point play for Quincy Noble.
Noble, as you mentioned, starting to warm up, starting to get into this game. And again, we mentioned both teams just coming off of a road trip on Saturday, so you have to figure that plays into this a little bit.
UAB puts the ball on the floor, and it results in a jump and possession for the Mean Green.
You know, it's interesting, CB, you and I were talking during the break about Margaret Whitley and her numbers and her shooting percentage and how it's changed in the last season and how she's now the ball handler. Last season, that was not the case here in Bartow Arena or any at all. She was playing in that 2 spot. And right there you see it. It's just been a challenging adjustment for her to bring the ball up the floor, be the commander on the floor, and try to produce.
Well, I think she also checked, all of her personal stats and ego and anything that, involved the eye. She checks that at the door, and she has welcomed the opportunity. But the bottom line is she's scoring 10 points less. Weathersby can't get it to go. And you got to buy in. That's what I'm trying to say in a short way. You got to buy in and give credit for Whitley for trying to buy in. I mean, she was an all-conference performer last year. That's going to be another foul on Weathersby.
I can't blame that foul on Weathersby. That was actually, again, Whitley trying to get back in defensive position and didn't do it fast enough, and all Weathersby could do was put the hands up. Right there, it's just difficult right now for UAB because they've got to have her inside, but she can't defend. She's got now 3 fouls.
Free throws coming up.
That's the best mark for either team is their free throw shooting percentage. North Texas right at 68%. There you see it again. And, yeah, Weathersby thought she could draw a charge, but a great job there to be able to slide over and draw the foul. So, again, North Texas just taking advantage of the opportunity here. And Dixon now with 4 points.
12-point lead now for the Mean Green. We asked the question rhetorically, can they make it 2 straight on the road? Well, they got 2 quarters and 3 minutes left. Still a lot of work to do, but they've given themselves a chance with a 12-point lead on the road in this matinee game at Bartow. Whitley. Kick save and a beauty. UAB had a point guard, a girl from Memphis, who was an outstanding point guard, and that allowed Whitley to play the 2. This is what we're talking about. And so Whitley now is at the 1. Her scoring is way down.
And hats off to Coach Mitchell for getting UAB in foul trouble so early. It has changed this game dramatically. So a great game plan coming into this one.
Daniels could hit the 3. She didn't take it. Whitley with 3 seconds. Daniels at 2 lets it fly and does not connect.
All sorts of just discombobulation. The movement isn't there. The passes aren't there. Right now, UAB just has no identity on the offensive end. And
their identity is really, to be honest with you, on the bench with all those fouls.
Exactly, and that's why you see the 12-point difference in the game. You get another look here at another foul for UAB again. Just letting Noble slip in on the back door right there, and then just the bailout foul again. And now North Texas just making hay at the free throw line here in the second quarter.
That's one of those Alex City phrases, right? Making hay.
Well, you got to get through winter somehow, CB. So
mine would be bailing snow.
I was about to say,
shoveling.
You pick your poison.
That's right.
My feet were dry at least.
Good one. Touché. And 2 free throws as well for Noble. After a slow start to this game, Noble now with 11 points.
And Coach Norton brings in Maddie Walsh, a little bit more height on the floor now. They're just trying to get something going, at least get a rebound or 2 and get a second chance, because so far the shooting hasn't been going.
Without the stats in front of us, UAB will go take advantage of a foul there. This is clearly the lowest offensive output for UAB in the first half at home. Held to 18 points. Now, if you're Randy Norton, as Caitlin Daniels will go to the line, what you're looking for is in the last 2 minutes, you got to cut into this lead, make this thing single digits.
That has to be your focus, along with trying not to commit any more fouls for the rest of this quarter. I mean, you got to play defense, obviously, but just force North Texas into mid-range jumpers. You know what their free throw percentage is, so they can't go to the line and expect to cut into this deficit any at all.
12-point lead for Texas, North Texas, rather. Mid-range, got it.
And if North Texas can capitalize on mid-range jumpers, UAB's got a long road ahead in the second half. I expect Randy to come out with a totally different game plan, Randy Norton, head coach of UAB. I can only imagine what that halftime talk is going to be about.
Well, McGee got tangled up. It'll be a foul on North Texas.
I believe that was Mallard that got tangled with her there. McGee was trying to roll out of that and get some space, and Mallard just got caught up with her, and unfortunately for her, drew a foul.
That lead for it, the North Texas Mean Green, 14-point first half lead. Here's Destiny McGee, 75% free throw shooter, now her 5th point of the afternoon.
I'll say this, North Texas has picked up the percentage. They're shooting 43% from the field now.
Not a staggering stat. Zakiah Weathersby shutout, pitched a shutout so far in this half.
0 points.
0 points, 1 board for somebody who averages double-double.
Has more fouls than points.
Yes. We would ask rhetorically, is that good? And the answer is no, it's not.
It's not.
It's like having more errors in baseball than runs.
That's right.
Daniels passed up a 3.
You just get the feeling this UAB team is scared to shoot three-pointers. And honestly, I just realized that at some point in the season when they're not going down, you stop pulling the trigger. And that's what you saw right there. Daniels had a look, without a doubt, and didn't take it.
That's confidence. Turnover by the Blazers. So the Mean Green with a 13-point first half lead.
11 turnovers for UAB, too, and 7, as you see it on the screen there, for North Texas. So North Texas just winning in every category. If they could get that shooting, I mean, this would be unreachable for UAB.
Snaringer feeding Walsh. And the theme of the first half, offensive fouls.
Just totally out of control there. Then again, yeah, Snaringer draws another one. That's now her second foul. So again, who's going to play for UAB in the second half? That becomes the question. Just outside of the restrictive zone. Great job there by Townley getting the position. Knew what was coming and draws the foul. North Texas executing at a high level right now on the defensive end.
And North Texas can play for one final shot, so they're going to go into the locker room.
A great stat from Jeff Spradlin in the back. 12 points off turnovers from North Texas, and that is a huge difference. That is the difference in the game.
Not only creating the turnovers, but do you capitalize? Do you get the points? That was lost, then recovered and scored. Jazzion Jackson, how about that for a finish for North Texas? And the Mean Green are going to go into the lock.
Future and can't really be quantified.
Well, most people will look at it like this. You have a 3-hour commercial to promote your product, and that's what we're doing.
Exactly.
UAB needs some offense, down by 15. Roders. Whitley. She had a second to take that 3, misses a 2. I think, again, that confidence we talked about for all the players, and then Whitley, her average down by 10 points. She had a 3. It wasn't a great 3, but it was a good 3. Passed it up for a 2 that missed. Noble on the miss, and now rebounded by Weathersby.
Kind of paying attention to UAB's expressions, their body language, comparing that to North Texas, especially Whitley after popping up that last miss. You just saw it. There's no confidence.
Roders spins, and that was out of bounds off of Townley. See, Roders is very underrated, in my opinion, Dustin, because of her ability to finish. We talk about the 2 post players, and you can talk about Whitley not shooting from outside, but Roders is a finisher, and she runs the floor both ways. McGee, did she travel?
It's Weathersby.
Or not McGee, but Weathersby, rather. Did she travel?
She took a step before she put the ball on the floor, and just not any kind of a day. And there she exhales. I don't know if you saw that. She gets back down the other end of the floor and just a big exhale. It's almost a mental thing at this point, is how does she get into this game?
Now, this is a girl we're talking about, Weathersby, 5th in the nation in double-doubles, and she's going to have one of the most spectacular halves here to even come close. It's hard to believe, but Weathersby, no points, and now 2 boards.
Nice turnover right there. Whitley grabs it out of the air on the pass and then goes all the way, drawing the foul from Gomez. And that, again, that's really been UAB's only effective attack tonight, has been that pressure, sped-up offense, getting down to the hoop and putting one up.
Whitley, excellent free throw shooter, 85% now, another shocking stat. That's her first point of the game.
It's hard to believe that the UAB starters haven't produced tonight as a whole, and she's obviously one of those. Now a full court press here for UAB, just trying something different to try to get North Texas a little bit out of their rhythm.
Stutter step and then using the glass. She called it. Amber Dixon will give it to her.
And the problem is, UAB, if they can't get back after the press, you're going to have those kind of open looks every time down the floor.
Whitley, 3 wouldn't go. Roders lucky she didn't get called for going over the back. Strong drive, and that time the defensive presence by Weathersby. And you talked about those points in the paint. You could see how Weathersby can alter. North Texas able to get the timeout. We'll take a break here. 8:02 remaining, 3rd quarter.
And on ACC Network.
8:02 remaining, 3rd quarter. Mean Green. Well, they won their last road game of the season, which was their first road win of the year, and they're trying to double it up. But you get that confidence after the first one. And they have done everything in this game, Dustin, to give themselves a chance. Nice ball fake and a finish by Mallard. And again, Mallard realizing foul trouble on UAB.
That's all you've got to do at this point for North Texas is just take advantage of the situation, as UAB has to play Weathersby. There's no choice at this point. And so as a result, all you got to do is get in there and force her to play defense.
Inside, outside, Klazak. Claudio Amato getting some playing time. Wide open three, Roders. Roders the only one who followed and winds up with two.
He's actually done that a couple times tonight.
Yes.
Nice job to just stay with the shot there and get a couple points the UAB desperately needs right now in this third quarter.
Remember, only one loss for the Blazers at home this year. You know, it just proves anything can happen on any given game. Yeah, you know, forget the Monday and the COVID and all this stuff. The bottom line is UNT has done all the things necessary so far. And the longer they can keep this lead, Dustin, going into the fourth quarter, obviously the more confidence they have, and then the pressure squarely on the shoulders of UAB.
It's all mental right now at this point for UAB. They've just got to start getting some shots to fall, and they've just got to be willing to take some shots that they don't normally take, and they've just got to start hitting them.
Mid-range. Amber Dixon off the bench with 8. She's had a nice game. So UAB not getting the stops. See Weathersby trying to get the ball, and that's going to be off of UAB. Turnover. They're 15th. You know, that was the problem. Turnovers was the problem in the UAB loss at Middle. They committed 21. So, again, they were the road team and committed 21. You can't win a game like that. But now at the home team at 15 and nearing that 20 mark.
Here's where you have to start right here for UAB. This possession. Finally keep North Texas out of the hoop. You got to capitalize.
Whitley. To Amato. Amato from Melbourne, Australia.
9,600 miles away from Birmingham, Alabama. That is a long way for her parents to be watching this.
Next time that Randy Norton and his crew recruit, I want to go on that visit.
Absolutely.
I've heard so many great things about that beautiful country. Now, you do know this. You do know that their winter is our summer, and our summer is their winter. A finish by Jazion Jackson, who has 7, and then a timeout called. And we'll take one here as well. 5:36 of the Wilderman. Randy Norton talking with Taryn Martin, his top assistant. They're just like, I can't believe this is going on.
And now they got a whole different look with Armato as the 1 and Whitley moving back over into that 2 position that she was obviously more familiar with.
Give and go, and whistle prior to that. Armato made made a dozen starts last year. A very good ball handler. And upperclassman listed as a senior, so there's a lot of confidence. She gives up some size. The lob inside to McGee, and McGee, a shot blocked out of bounds.
You know, at this point in the game, I mean, that's what you're trying to do is just they're now trying to look for an identity as you see the inbounds here again with McGee. We'll take a look and make sure, it was out off North Texas, so lucky for UAB to get that possession back. But, just trying to find their identity in this game. And a no call there.
No call. McGee able to get points 6 and 7. And I know that side of the arena was looking for the offensive foul. Just waiting for it to come.
So used to it at this point in this game.
Jazion Jackson. Cross-court pass. Strong move. And a little too strong on the attempt there by.
Nice work by McGee to rip down that rebound.
Whitley, 3-ball, got it.
Huge shot from Whitley, not just for the points that it represents, but for the confidence that she'll now have coming up the floor. I think our motto in the game definitely changes things, and now a couple more missed possessions. Just got to clean up the boards. 2 offensive rebounds there, and a nice steal from UAB's Daniels. Offensive foul there again.
Oh, boy, that changes the momentum right there. Dustin, I don't have a stat tracker, but if that is an offensive foul, I think that's the 6th. And I don't recall doing a game 6 offensive fouls.
I think that's right.
Humongous number.
It's honestly hard to believe. I mean, that's normally what you would have in 3 games, let alone 3 quarters.
Right. Another foul on Snaringer. Amber Dixon has played well off the bench. That's Noble, the mid-range.
Good job by McGee.
Yeah, you saw exactly what I saw. There was the block.
The positioning and the block out was everything right there, and got the ball back for UAB. And now with a chance to cut this down to 12 or 11 points here, that's the closest they've had it since, I think, the first quarter was the last time the deficit was that close after that big 3 at the end of the quarter.
Snaringer on the reverse.
It's her 10th point.
Yep, first of the half, and it looks like Jaylee Mitchell has called a timeout with 3:33 remaining.
Nice.
That they're both on the court at the same time.
Exactly.
It looks like Randy's going to say to his all-conference performer Weathersby, you've got the 4th quarter.
I think so.
And just go at it. You know, you foul out, you foul out.
You foul out, and we've got next man up.
All right. For the Mean Green now, what they want to do in this quarter is get out of the 3rd quarter with a double-digit lead. Jackson with a chance for 3.
That's not their game. That is 3 wasted possessions for North Texas, letting UAB back into this, and then you find our motto and set things up. This is a perfect situation for UAB to get back in right here.
Whitley's 3. Sinks it.
And that's the magic that she was missing. We compared those numbers from last year, averaging 19.8 points a game and now just 9.8. That's because her role has changed, and I like this lineup for UAB, now cutting it to 9.
Single digits at the moment, but plenty of time left to go 3rd quarter.
It's a 10-point scoring run for UAB. You just saw it on the screen.
Inside, and a bucket. No foul.
I think that's the most important fact of that play right there. No foul for UAB. You'll take that at any rate in this game.
Lampkin, a 6'2" post presence, only a sophomore. Inside McGee, and McGee got fouled.
Lampkin with the foul there. Just can't guard McGee. And that's what they've been needing to take advantage of all game. I mean, we know what McGee can do down low. If she's got the positioning, feed her the rock, because she can get it to the hoop and draw fouls just like that. A great job. McGee has really leveled up here in the 3rd quarter.
Couple of free throws coming up for Destiny.
It's her 8th point.
3-time All-Stater at Madison Academy up in Hunts Vegas, as we call it. Rebound, second chance now for UAB.
Boy, she thought about pulling that one up.
Armato, again, she might be the key so far in this little mini comeback. Hoisted up in the air. How did that go in? Caitlin Daniels.
Prayer answered, CB. Down by 8 now. The shot clock was running out. North Texas has to feel this tension. This is an important possession.
13-2 Blazer run right now.
Great job by McGee right there on Lampkin.
Mid-range will go. Nice follow. Nice finish.
Their field goal percentage has really stepped up, 41% from the field. UAB now shooting 38% after those couple of those three-pointers that Whitley was finally able to find the bottom of the net. It's a tip ball. Saw Coach right there. Little upset was Coach Mitchell, but it was tipped.
Snaringer right into the hands of North Texas. And UAB will get the ball, much to the chagrin of North Texas, unless somebody overrules.
I actually think that Coach Mitchell has a point. That ball was out on Schneringer from my view here at sideline. Of course, I don't have as good a look as our under-basket camera operator, Stephen Cockrell, but nonetheless, it looked like it went out. As we'll get a look at it here. Yeah, they missed that call, CB. I'm shocked.
Well, now you get to understand when I say that replay and slow-mo guy never misses.
No, and it's a good thing they're both the same person, too.
Usually
He's twice as right because of that. So,
yes. I wish I had his instincts.
He's good. UAB with the travel. Not sure what they called.
Caitlin Daniels.
Foul.
And she might have gotten bailed out.
I believe she did.
She was about to get fouled.
That's as excited as I've seen the UAB bench for an almost shot all day long.
Weathersby is back in. That's her. Whitley has hit a couple of threes. Snaringer turns down a three, and then she traveled. Turned down a three, traveled turnover, so a 10-point lead for the Mean Green.
There's your turnover update. 18 for UAB now and 10 for North Texas. Yeah, you're right. You can't do that at home and expect to win, but somehow still in this game, only down by 10. This is a big, big possession again for North Texas. Nice steal.
It's Armada. 15. Bucket. Weathersby. Her first 2 points.
What a dish right there from Daniels. That was perfect transition offense.
5 to shoot. And that will do it. UAB, a comeback as we go to the final 10 minutes after 3. North Texas 48, UAB 40. 10 minutes remaining.
And to me, the biggest difference is UAB finally figuring out their lineup. And it all started when Armado came into the game. Everything changed at that point. And as you see, she's still on the floor right there, Dean, up against Jackson.
Opening possession of the fourth and final quarter. Can the Mean Green maintain their lead and win 2 straight on the road? Nice entry pass, and that leads to a basket by Jackson.
Just the patience there from Vilas is what created the lane and was able to get UAB off their feet, and a nice easy pass for the finish.
Pick was set. Set for Weathersby, and Weathersby dribbles it off her foot. Jump, and possession will stay with UAB.
Weathersby just has not found any rhythm, obviously. I mean, 2 points, 3 fouls. Right here, she's just too far away from the basket, and quite frankly, just dribbled the ball off her knee. Yep. I mean, it's just not clicking right now, and I think we're about to see McGee come back into this game very soon.
Mean Green back up by 10. Armado is not a shooter. Now there's a foul off the ball, I believe, on Villas.
I think you're right. Looks like Weathersby able to draw a foul there now.
He's going to commit one.
Exactly. It looks like Lampkin probably going to check back in here in a moment. Take another look at it right here on the glass cam. Weathersby and Villas just jockeying for position. And there you see Villas pull that arm up.
There's a little bit of a hook there.
A little bit of a hook and a push.
A little bit of a hook.
Exactly. Good call by the officials.
That's going to be a foul.
Armado playing with so much passion and energy right now. Finds that little lane to get that pass into Whitley. Those two are really in sync. Check this out. This is off the inbounds. Just patience, patience, patience. Finds the seam, draws the foul. That is wonderful stuff from Armado.
Little clock in her head. Tick, tick, tick. It's Weathersby. UAB had cut it down to 7. It's up at 10 at the moment. Noble will come in for Gomez.
Noble's been quiet since the first half. I think she's still at 11 points.
She's scoreless in the second half. Plenty of time to shoot. Snaringer, and Snaringer's going to be caught in the paint on the dribble, or on the traveling rather.
Well, they've had 3 of those today where just a ball handler unable to keep that pivot foot. And as a result, another turnover for UAB, and that's just, again, the story that we've talked about all game long. And that's the reason for the 10-point deficit for UAB.
Jackson.
If you're North Texas, you're going to be patient. You're going to use all 35 seconds.
It's down to 5 right now. And then a foul on UAB with 4 seconds to shoot. A non-shooting foul. And the shot clock will ramp up to 20. Caitlin Daniels picks up her first.
Nobody open. Bailed out right there by Jackson.
Good ball movement, North Texas. And they get 2 big points here. Amber Dixon off the board, Dustin, with a dozen, 12.
Yeah, she's their leading scorer with that bucket. And rightfully so. She's played really well. Shooting 5 for 10 from the field, 50%. It's better than her team at 43.
Snaringer, square and shoot, won't go. All right, this lead back up to 12 now for the Mean Green. The Blazers got it to single digits, but in this quarter, North Texas have outscored UAB 4-0.
Couple subs right here that I think are about to change things back on the scale a little bit. Mainly, obviously, Klazak and McGee coming in, and you look at the three-point shooting comparison there now. 2 for 9. Obviously, UAB hit both of those in the third quarter. Sloppy turnover there for North Texas. This is, again, a big possession for UAB with McGee back on the floor. Can they take advantage?
Seven and a half remaining. I'm going to give that stat again, and we got a whistle. And a foul yet again on UAB. This is on McGee. I've never seen this many offensive fouls. I was about to say, North Texas, in this series rivalry, they've won 2 straight, including a win here at Bartow. So, you know, kind of one of those we might have your number routine.
And I would say so, and the 19 points off turnovers aren't helping any either.
Those are free points. Swish. Oh, Amber Dixon off the bench with 14. She played 4 years at Louisiana Tech, so obviously an excellent, highly recruited player coming out of high school.
They knew what she was capable of, too. They had to face her for several years.
Yes, good point.
Made a change and got her on their side.
Klazak.
It's out on McGee.
Well, Dustin, you know, often as broadcasters get to this point, they're wondering, you know, how much time, is there enough time, and is this about it, and all that kind of thing. You know, you can call it no matter what the situation. So you're looking at right now 14. There is time. UAB went on that run to close the third quarter, but let me just say this. UAB's got to go on a run right now with this possession. Like they don't have a lot of time to come up empty. McGee, head down, empty. Rebound, Roters, empty. And UAB will get possession, I believe, yes.
Yeah, UAB might have been bailed out by another call again, because I thought that was off of McGee again from my view here. If you're North Texas, you just got to keep battling down here. We'll take one more look. Comes off the board. Yeah, McGee touched that last again.
6.5 now. Roters. UAB down to 8 seconds to shoot. McGee had that left side, gave it up, went to the right side and missed.
Didn't realize she had it. If she goes right shoulder right there, that's two of the easiest points she'll ever score.
You understand? Do you agree with me, Dustin? Now it's a 14-point lead nearing the 6-minute mark.
You can't go into that media timeout down by 14 or 16 points depending on this possession, but you can't do it. They've got to get this back to a manageable 10-point lead going into that media, which is a tall order now at this point.
Yeah.
Let's get another look at it here on your screen.
McGee picks up her third foul. Yeah. And in this quarter, Dustin, UAB had momentum, but they've been outscored 6-0.
You're starting to see a lot of frustration from UAB. That was a very lazy foul right there that McGee committed, just kind of raising her arm and just laying it over and just taking the foul. And if you're going to take a foul, you better make the other player earn the points. And that was just a lazy foul. And ultimately, I think that's the difference, because you look at the turnovers and everything that UAB's done this game, and quite frankly, they just haven't mentally been in it.
McGee. Well, she'll get fouled.
That would have shifted things a bit if she could have made that a three-point play, but now nonetheless an opportunity.
We should give credit to Jaylee Mitchell, who has coached a wonderful game for North Texas. Her and her staff, the Mean Green.
Phenomenal game plan. Attacking Weathersby early and completely changing UAB's attack altogether. I mean, everything UAB does revolves around her. And they took her out early, and this game hasn't been the same ever since. There's another look at the foul committed on McGee.
Soft free throws. McGee with 9 points.
Both teams shooting 9 for 13 from the line, and we knew those stats would be good for both teams coming into this game, and they have held true. But again, turnovers is the difference.
A 12-point game right now.
It's a big stop right there. You can cut it to 10 on this possession, or better. UAB realizes that.
Rainbow three, McGee.
Boy, that's not the shot you wanted if you're Randy Norton, but he'll take it at this rate. McGee doesn't shoot those very often, but she made it count, and now we're back to a 9-point cut here.
It's her 9th home run of the year. And 2. Coming back for Noble. Her first 2 points of the second half.
Cold-blooded from Noble. That's her first points of this half. Now at 13 on the game, and no better time than for that right there for North Texas.
Yeah, back up to 11.
Yeah, next dead ball. They get to talk about it, but right here is everything for UAB. They've got to get it to under 10 on this possession.
It's Snaringer trying to back her way in. Little turnaround. 12 for Snaringer.
Her and McGee are carrying this Blazer side. McGee with 13, her with 12.
Down to single digits at 4+. And you were saying single digits under 4. Right around that 4-minute mark.
Shot clock.
Give yourself
at 6.
a chance.
Can they draw a foul? No.
So now we hit the 4-minute mark and a single-digit lead. Can the Mean Green hold on?
Somebody's got to set a pick at some point for UAB at the top of the key. I mean, you can't just take on somebody from the top of the key and expect to score.
All right, that'll get us to our media timeout. Well, Mike Furco floating around somewhere in this arena.
Got the Stevens on camera. We got everybody in here for this day game.
Our DIFP crew. Possession for Mean Green. They score, they're back where they want to be. They don't, they're going to open that door a little bit for the Blazers. Right underneath the zone. Nice pass. Miss. Second shot. Miss.
Wow.
Third shot, made it.
You're not going to miss the third time, CB. 2 offensive rebounds on the same possession. That is just hard to overcome.
Tough possession if you're UAB to swallow that one.
Oddly enough, UAB is out rebounding North Texas. North Texas at 30, UAB at 35, but hasn't paid off due to all the turnovers.
The Mean Green have gotten excellent production from their bench, Dixon and Jackson.
And there's 2 more with a
and
chance
there's
to
an
add
and
another.
one. And one, and that put one of those seals on container.
And that'll be McGee's 4th foul, too, which means we're going to see Zakiah Weathersby back on the floor. And there you see, look at that emotion. North Texas just feeling every bit of it today, especially Dixon, as you mentioned, coming off the bench. What a player. I imagine she'll be the impact player for the next broadcast this week because she has been so good today.
And their next game will be at home against Rice. If you want to fly to Houston, I'll be right next to you there.
UNL, head on out. Weathersby gets the easiest 2 points she's had today.
Still double-digit lead under 3. Got 2.5. This would be an incredible road win for North Texas. And basically, if I'm not mistaken, Dustin, this would be wire to wire.
No doubt. And 2 in a row on the road.
And 2 in a row on the road where they were winless prior to this little mini streak.
Really turned it on here this weekend.
Wide open look.
Every moment counts now.
Whitley jumps into a 3. Got it.
That was important. 8-point lead, so 3 possessions. That's doable in 2 minutes, but you got to have a stop 2 times down the floor.
And a wise timeout by Jaylee Mitchell and her Mean Green. Keep things.
And honestly, a 3-possession game, there's over 90 seconds on the clock. So time-wise, it's possible, but you got to have 2 stops. And it starts right here, and that's what Randy Norton was saying in that huddle. We need 2 stops, and you got to get 1. Let's worry about 1.
Well, besides Klezak, though, or besides Whitley, though, there's just really haven't been a 3-point threat.
No. Force them to shoot a jump shot.
Over the top, Snaringer. Clock will stop.
15 foul.
And she's got 4.
Here's another look at it here. And it's just, reaching over like that. You just need to keep your feet on the ground and make her shoot that jump shot. That's just a miss on the defensive end right there for UAB.
Well, whether you agree with the officiating or not, one thing that I think you and I should agree is that they have been consistent today.
Yeah.
Another point for Amber Dixon, her 15th. They've called it tight.
Yeah.
Called a very tight game.
Absolutely.
And they called it both ways.
They really did.
I mean, they've done their job, the trio of officials.
No, they've done a wonderful job today. And now you make it tough. Now it becomes a 4-possession game, and now the clock starts to be an issue. Because now you're forced to shoot a 3 every time down the floor. And at this rate, Whitley and McGee are the only 2 Blazers who have hit a 3-pointer.
Snaringer. This offense is taking too much time. It's a turnover. And that might be another seal.
North Texas had that one ID'd pretty well. You knew it had to be Whitley that was going to shoot it, so all you have to do is guard her, and UAB couldn't find the open lane.
Well, North Texas appears set and poised for their 2nd straight road win in Conference USA. Not only would this be a disappointing and shocking loss for UAB, but remember, UAB was also at the top of the standing.
Compared to UAB's 40%. And that coupled with the turnovers is why you see the 10-point difference on your screen.
UAB has committed an absurd 19 fouls, and they've turned it over 22 times. That's one more than their last time against Middle when they got blasted on the road. So I guess you'd call it a slump for the Blazers, who I was talking to the North Texas people prior to the game, and UAB just has not had their hot streak as a team yet. And, of course, they're hoping that comes in March. But just when they start warming up, they have a clunker up there. And meanwhile, off the bench again, Jackson with 12 points.
And honestly, the worst part of it is taking the home loss. We had the graphic earlier about the home cooking. Well, now all of a sudden that's no longer really as impactful of a statement, saying 8-2 at home. So it's a tough hill to climb for UAB. Still going to be right there at the top of the heap in the West, but making it a little harder to guarantee a good seed in the tournament, and that's very important.
Turnover. And Snaringer's ball rimmed in and out.
That's about how you sum it up for UAB today. Just could not finish when it mattered. And now the formality of free throws for North Texas.
And you mentioned it too, the body language. You realize that North Texas comes into Birmingham and they're going to pull off an upset.
Yeah.
And when you look at UAB, their bench is like, how'd that happen?
Yeah.
What happened to us?
And coming in on a high note, too. That win on UTSA, I mean, it's got to feel good to get
Yes.
that first road win in conference and come back on the road. And you're like, we can do that again. Let's replicate what we did on Saturday again against the best team in the West. And that's exactly what they've done. And UAB, obviously coming off that deflating loss to Middle Tennessee, it's the exact opposite, trying to refine themselves. And they didn't do it tonight, and especially in the case of Weathersby. I mean, that is where it all began. And they got to travel and see these guys again. So I would not be surprised if Coach Mitchell doesn't have the exact same game plan. Get UAB in foul trouble and make them create their own turnovers.
Whitley will try a three. And with less than 40 seconds remaining.
And right now, obviously, if you're Randy Norton, this opportunity is solely about teaching. You're currently just trying to build character. You're currently just trying to build grit. You're currently just trying to build focus. And I think as a head coach of a group of college athletes, that's what you do in these moments, is you focus on, the small parts of basketball, the things that you do when you are up by 20. That you talk in those lights, and that way the next time when you're North Texas and you're in this situation, you don't make little mistakes. And if you're Coach Mitchell, you just take this opportunity and just relish in it, that you've beaten the best team in the West here on the road on a Monday afternoon after a tough weekend win against UTSA.
Amber Dixon off the bench with a 20 spot. Klazek's shot is rejected. She gets her own rebound. Whitley can't hit the three. And I believe now it's perfunctory, and that should close things out. North Texas on the road with their second straight conference win. And a good game plan, executed, and that's it. They'll dribble out the clock. So the final score will be North Texas 67 and UAB 54. And a road win, as mentioned, for North Texas. They were winless on the road up until about